During the beginning part of their relationship, a couple named Leilani and Gibran, who creates documentaries, meet. Gibran kisses Leilani after she tells him she needs to leave. Everything appears to be running smoothly. Leilani and Gibran have a confrontation 4 years later over a reality TV show. Finally, she persuades him to schedule sex rather than having it happen on the spur of the moment. After some time has passed, the couple gets into their car to drive to a dinner party. They appear to have spent the entire vehicle ride arguing about the same issue. They then argue about marriage, with Gibran stating that he wants to marry her but understands that she does not. Finally, they both admit that they aren't right for each other. As a result, they decide to call it quits because their relationship isn't going anywhere. Gibran, unfortunately, collides with a man on a bicycle. When he tries to assist him in getting up, the man bolts. Gibran gets into his car, nervous, only to find an unknown man knocking on his door, begging him to let him chase the other man since he's a cop. When he informs them he's a criminal, they immediately assist him. They corner the guy in an alley after chasing him around town. The police officer, to their amazement, runs him over a couple of times to make sure he's dead. As a result, they discover he isn't a cop. He hires police sirens and flees, leaving the pair in the middle of the situation as he walks back to their car. Apparently, a few passers-by discover the body, and despite their attempts to explain that they did not murder him, they do not listen. The couple eventually flees, as the girl dials 911. Leilani and Gibran are stunned by the occurrences in a diner. Gibran then makes the decision to confess to the cops. Leilani, on the other hand, believes they would be discriminated against. When Bobby, the host, calls to see if they're still at home, Leilani says yes. Naturally, she keeps quiet about everything and simply informs him that they're on their way. Leilani gets a call from an unknown caller who turns out to be a detective after a while. The investigator appears to inquire if she drove her automobile today. However, Leilani tries to hide the fact that she has been at home all day, but the cop overhears the waitress asking her to place an order. As a result, Gibran snatches her phone and places it in the milkshake. The pair can hear the bicycle man's phone ringing outside. They learn that he is due to meet with someone named Edie. Leilani persuades him to investigate, to find out who murdered him. As a result, they head to Edie's club, where she kidnaps them. They find themselves locked in a room when they wake up. They discover that they're in the middle of a conversation. Surprisingly, she believes they have dirt on a congressman, who happens to be her husband, because they met with her at the appointed time. Edie tortures both of them for a while. She tries to burn Leilani with grease while having a horse kick Gibran in the face. Gibran pushes herself out of the chair and kicks the pan out of her grip. Following their escape, the pair tries to catch their breath. Leilani and Gibran change their clothing at a convenience store before deciding what to do next. Gibran then notices that Edie has dropped a piece of paper with the address of the bicycle's home written on it. As a result, they decide to investigate more. Leilani fractures her shoe instead of breaking the glass door when she tries to break it with her heel. As a result, they must use the fire escape and enter through the window. They discover that there is a party going on when they hear music coming from the other side of the apartment. Fortunately, they notice the lad stuffing the congressman's photos into envelopes. A boy walks into the room as Leilani tries to sneak in to get one. Despite their best efforts to resolve the situation peacefully, they end up attacking the youngster. Despite this, they question the unfortunate youngster and discover that he works for a man named Tom, where he prepares envelopes stuffed with photographs. Steve is shot by the mustache guy as he runs out of the room towards the end. Fortunately, Leilani and Gibran take cover while the man is preoccupied with a phone call. After that, the pair is able to exit the flat and board a bus. When they try to hack into the bicycle man's phone, she proposes enlisting the help of Keith, a man who has been flirting with her. Although Gibran initially disagrees, Leilani eventually persuades him because it is the only way. After a while, Leilani and Gibran decide to join the dinner party that Keith is attending. Bobby and his wife appear to be wary of their appearance. Cunningly, Leilani instructs him to take out his phone and act as if he has forgotten the password, allowing Keith to offer to unlock it. When he does, he discovers that there is a fancy dress party going on. As a result, he begs Bobby's wife to lend him some clothes. Leilani and Gibran arrive at their destination after a time, and the man at the front desk asks for their phone. He appears to take out the bicycle man's phone and let them in. They're then taken aback by the fact that everyone at the party is wearing masks. After familiarizing themselves with their surroundings, they enter a theater room to observe a conference in progress. They become enraged when they witness people wearing red robes exit the building. The robed men shout out seat numbers for the audience to join them on stage. Fortunately, the pair is not singled out from the crowd. Surprisingly, they discover the participants participating in an orgy. However, one of the men learns about the death of the bicycle man. To make matters worse, they inform him that his bar code has been used to get access to the party. They apparently ask attendees to remove their masks in order to pick out intruders. Only Leliani and Gibran remove their masks since they don't understand the regulations. People there are well aware that they should never, under any circumstances, expose their identities. As the couple is being attacked by the other guests, a voice over the intercom announces that everyone should leave. To make matters worse, the couple is left alone while the authorities conduct a search of the premises. They are then apprehended. Leliani believes there is no way out of this situation at the police station. As a result, she chooses to make a confession. She then informs him that she has always admired his documentaries, but that she has never expressed her views about them. However, he responds that she has always been good enough for him. In the end, they agree to be friends regardless of what happens. The investigator from earlier enters the room, poised to question them. Despite their readiness to defend themselves, the woman surprises them by stating that she is confident in their innocence. They've been attempting to contact them all night because traffic cameras captured the entire chase. They begin to talk about everything, evidently, while the detective is taken aback by their findings. She informs them that they are aware of the persons in the masks when they mention them. The raid tonight was expected to do that, since they've been trying to shut them down. Finally, she sends them home to rest and instructs them to return in the morning for their statements. Gibran offers to sleep on the couch in the car. Despite her refusal, he persists. They find the mustache guy in the driver's seat while trying to figure out who told the cult about the cops. He turns out to be a real cop, and he intends to get rid of them before they submit their statements to the cops. Despite this, Gibran and Leliani make an attempt to persuade him that he is a nice guy. He then holds both of them at gunpoint and zip ties them into a car. Leliani, nervous, tries unsuccessfully to untie Gibran. Fortunately, she notices a lighter that they can use to remove the zip ties. As they complete the task, the mustache man returns to the automobile to force them into a boat. By blaming it on one of the masked persons, he appears to have a complete plan. Leliani attacks him with a nearby bucket before he can fire a shot. Unfortunately, while Leliani is holding the rifle, he manages to use Gibran as a human shield. Naturally, they start fighting while Gibran is held captive. He falls into the river and apparently passes out as she shoots him. As they relax, the pair tries to digest what has happened. Leliani and Gibran connect over surviving the kidnapping a few hours later. Gibran is overjoyed that Leliani shot the man for him. He seemed to be kissing her passionately. However, an ambulance arrives to transport them to the hospital, to which Leliani enthusiastically agrees. Leliani convinces Gibran to join her on the reality TV show a year later. Gibran, on the other hand, discovers that one of their responsibilities requires them to ride horses. And this is where the movie comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, until next time.